Right. So what you're looking at is the feast of food that's arrived from Ocado. What you don't understand and what you don't realise is it is hell. And the reason why it's hell is that I can't fucking open any of it because I've got very serious essential tremor, which means that all these delightful packets are just like, I don't know, what would you think if you'd got some kind of beautiful woman all kind of ready and, you know, waiting for you? Someone like me, I'm really, really, really thin. I'm about 5 stone. I make Belson look like it wasn't fucking trying. And I get to make jokes like that because I'm a Jew. Right, so you got this beautiful woman all, you know, excited and, you know, ready to be eaten, but you can't get at her. Right, anybody else can get at her. Anybody else can open it in about 2 seconds, but I can't. So, I've got to be prepared. I am prepared. Oh my god, where are they gone? Where are the scissors gone? I've got this packet of scissors. No, not packet. I can't even speak. Jesus. But anyway, I've got a pair of pink scissors here that now just seem to have gone missing. But this is why I made the video after I'd eaten. Yeah, every single packet, yeah, you know, right? There shouldn't be fucking hand tremor. I'm wearing Alcatraz handcuffs. I've got enough weight on my arm to kind of like, these Alcatraz handcuffs are a real problem there. Right, okay, they're good. You can see they're good. But basically they've gotta be pushed onto the wrist because they keep falling down the arm. And they even keep falling almost off the hand. You know, you don't want that. And don't say, are you some weird kind of sexual deviant? Yeah, obviously. What do you take me for? A fucking amateur? No, that's not why I've got handcuffs on. I've got handcuffs on because I've got hand tremor, because if you weight down your wrist like that, then it lessens your tremor, as does alcohol. The point here is, how the fuck do you open any of this unless you got a pair of scissors? You don't. You're starved to death, right? But fortunately, I've got a pair of scissors, and look at all this crap, look at all this inability. Yeah, how do you think someone like me feels about this kind of ineptitude after being able to draw like a god? Fucking angry. Nice like that. Yeah? There's another little backup pair of orange scissors. Can you see them? I mean, the Alcatraz handcuffs are doing something. I think they are sufficiently weighty. It's just they're not in quite the right place. You've got to have a tie or something, some kind of bandage, so that they're right on the wrist. Because obviously they're not really designed, like that's actually designed to be a kind of bracelet. And it's been working quite well, but obviously I've got it on the left hand. The Alcatraz handcuffs are a lot heavier. I mean, I'm really not used to them. Sorry about, like, getting them. Yeah. Okay, but, like, look at the chain. Yeah, but they're much better than what I've got on my left hand. I mean, look. You know, look at the lack of tremor. I mean, you're doing much better with Alcatraz, I tell you. Though I can slip these off my wrist. Sorry, I have to smoke now. So, what were we doing? Fiddling around here. Fucking things up. Well, Now with all this abundance, I'm actually just going to smoke a new one. I don't give a fuck. But I mean, look, just to add insult to injury, right? They give you these packets of cigarettes where you've now got to open like one thing and then another and rip it off, and you've got to get the plastic off as well. I mean, it's the packaging. This is sit there and die of fucking starvation. Never get anywhere near it. Yeah? Right. Gotta get meat in you. Right, if you're I'm about 5 stone because they've starved me to death. Right, not only did they cut off my water and light, there's the scissors. They then, like, I left this hospital at 36.5 kilograms, and you automatically get prescribed these sort of special shakes, protein shakes, because you're, you know, so fucking underweight, even after all. And this kind of pharmacist was trying to make all these excuses. I was going, no, it isn't. It's the fucking law. I actually get on with the pharmacist. It's not his fault that the GP's such a fucking cunt and that social services seem to be out to murder me. But, you know, I'll get by with a little help from my friends. Hey. Okay, there was a moment when I was opening this one, Rich and Smooth, $5.95, highly recommended. I recommend all these, by the way. Where I actually encountered resistance, yeah? From the snail's all right. That's my snail. It's in the plastic box. I don't let it out of my sight anymore. No, it's fucking wandering around. No, I carry it everywhere. Sometimes I carry it in my mouth. Like, even though I've got essential tremor, I've got more control than the rest of you put together. You know, you're all so goddamn fucking sloppy. You think this looks like a mess. You think you have no idea. I mean, look at the way those toothpicks and kind of lace bobbins are actually arranged in there. You can't do that. You can't draw. You're inept. You've got no right to criticise me. I mean, for somebody who's got essential tremor, I'm doing so much better than any of the rest of you ever could. And all I get is fucking criticism. And I want it to stop. I'm going to pull rank. Anyway, Rich and Smooth, dead, right? I was just trying to get the lid off. And there was resistance. Rich and Smooth, you never resist me. Like, what the hell do you think you're doing? Like, it was, okay, it was only for a second, and then I kind of pulled it around, but I just thought, like, what the fuck? You know, this isn't the way, like, my objects are in love with me, and I'm in love with them. I do not understand the snail. Snail ate the lettuce yesterday, that's why it's there. I bought it a new salad, won't touch it, just sits there. Just fucking sits there. Look at that leaf. I put a little hopeful lettuce leaf in there. Yeah, what we've got to do is basically strap down the Alcatraz handcuffs. We've got to get them so that they're in exactly the right place, and then you won't get any tremor whatsoever. And I've got to get used to carrying around a massive amount of weight on my wrists, because it does work. This is the kind of crap I have to put up with every day, instead of writing, well, it's kind of, you know, the equivalent of Hamlet. Another thing you lot can't do, but I can. So why aren't you helping me do that? Shouldn't be too fucking difficult. All you've got to do is write to a publisher, because my email doesn't work, and you know, all those sorts of things that you know about. Right, you probably know how to open this. Whoa, that hurts. Punishing Alcatraz handcuffs. Yeah, maybe I might need some kind of softness. I think bandages. I'm gonna talk to Raphael. Raphael's always ending up having to kind of buy me food. And then she always buys the wrong one. She doesn't get me salami Napoli. I'm not interested in mixture of salamis. I don't care about the other ones. I just care about salami Napoli. She always gets it wrong. Right, this is kind of instruction. Basically, I know how to talk. Right, this is Serrano. It always has to be Serrano, not chorizo. I understand that conflicts with the whole pizza principle, where it's the chorizo pizza that I like and not the Serrano and not the whatever, but just there you go. Right, look at that, collecting the cocktail sticks. Don't ask me why, I'll get angry. I'm going to try that. See if I can light it. Because, you know, why where's fire? Can't do it. Can't fucking do it. Can't fucking do it. So there's a way, I think, of lighting cigarettes. See, I've got an abundance of ashtrays. You're going, well, where are you going to sleep? I go, well, anyway, you know. I mean, I'm not going to actually keep all this food in bed. I'll be repackaging it. Oh yeah, the Italian mortadella. Very delicious. I actually think it's one of the packets that I can get open with my bare hands, but its sell-by day is several months ahead. So that's the one you want to eat last. God. And this, of course, is fantastic. This is a really good one, because it's almost like a whole meal in one. I actually am going to have to stop this video, because I'm still quite hungry. But what I'm going to do is, yeah, don't talk to me about carers. You know, like, you have to get clearance agents in that cost thousands of pounds. You then remove everything and destroy your system. And you get these fucking carers you don't care about. It's just right. Oh, God. Okay, I've got to drop you on the floor. And go and live in the darkness for a bit. Learn about the horror of my life and the horror of your true soul. Because I can tell you, it's not me who's the cripple. It's not me who's living in darkness. It's you. Right, let's have a look at some other things we've got here. I bought 3 packs of these. Now, I can actually get these open. So they're going to go over by the side of the bed because they're really well packaged. But of course, once you open them up, can you get the Madeleine out of the bed? Yeah, and you actually can. But you often have to be in quite a good mood. You have to be a bit relaxed. I tend to cut them, the plastic, because it's just a bit of a hassle pushing it around. Really good to have the fag. You know, because I haven't been able to. I've been having to roll them. You know, sometimes things go like that. Yeah. Yeah, there's a bit of bread. So, bread arrives. You know, what do you do with bread, really? Sliced bread, you know, it just goes stale. You have to pull bits out. You know, hopefully you come to a soft bit. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. A lot easier to eat a Madeleine, but I was just too desperate. I was at. Anyway, so they've decided to prescribe these shakes, finally, because I asked them to. And I pointed out that I should have been automatically prescribed them by law when leaving the hospital at 36.5 kilograms. And there was this, well, you weren't having shakes in the hospital. And I was going, it's got fuck all to do with that. You know, it's not about what I was being prescribed. You don't just go, okay, we'll follow the prescriptions that the hospital has given. It is to do with the weight I was when I left that hospital. That and that alone dictates your actions, and it's automatic protein shakes. Now I weigh 31.5 kilograms because you are in the business of murdering me. Obviously, I didn't say all that. Why? Why didn't I say all that? Firstly, because I was talking to the pharmacist who isn't responsible. It's the GP. Secondly, it's because I'm diplomatic. But I'm going to crush him. Not him, but I'm going to crush my GP. I'm going to crush the social services and Westminster City Council and anyone who's wronged me. Why? Because I'm a Jew. Yeah? I mean, okay, I'm only half Jewish and I'm not considered really a Jew because my mother wasn't a Jew. And we can go on about this fucking crap forever. But the fact is, I just haven't acted so far. And now I'm going to. And you're gonna pay. Because you've done me wrong. And because, in my opinion, you're empty and desperate and stupid, and there's no point to your existence until you give me a reason you should live. And I don't think you're going to be able to. Right? I don't think you're going to be able to. You're going to have to start persuading me. This is not the kind of thing Alice Oswald will say. But Alice Oswald is not in the business of justice and retribution. I am. Right. I agree. I might be in a bad mood for some strange reason. Yeah. My snail and I have been getting on very well today. I'm not going to show him off to the public, because he doesn't like, flashing himself around. I'm very glad to have these cigarettes, but why design them like this? As I say, absolutely everything is designed to kill somebody who's got essential tremor and can't open packets, unless they are superbly prepared, and not just with one set of scissors, but another and another in the bathroom, and three more near the sofa, and one more near the front door, because, these situations just turn up and make you fucking desperate at any point, and I'm registered blind. I can't see even with my glasses on. I'm having cataract surgery. So, you got dim light. Why have I got dim light? Got no overhead lights. Because the people upstairs have leaked and leaked and leaked into my ceilings and destroyed all the electronics for years. I can't get the place rewired. And don't say, well, that's because it's a mess. I mean, I had somebody in who fixed the heating a couple of weeks ago without any fucking difficulty. Mind you, the bathroom is, it's quite easy to get through because I've already put everything into boxes ready for the replastering. C, bathroom repairs. I think that looks quite beautiful, as a shot. This is quite interesting. Yeah, well, no, I'm not going to tell you what's there. I'm still missing this important envelope. Yeah. But anyway, basically, design problems. Prejudice against disabled people. People who can't open anything. There's a reason why I got hand tremor, it hits. Yeah, let's put them in there. Let's have some more wine, because wine cures hand tremor. I'm going on some neurology thing, you know, so I'll have to cut the vino. And, you know, I'll be quite pleased to do that because, you know, having to drink wine. Good lampshade, huh? Yeah. Beautiful little hat from, I don't think it's Victorian. Certainly very old, probably about 100 years old, I'd say. Lovely hat. Lovely lampshade. Don't say you're obsessed with the Holocaust, because I know I'm obsessed with the Holocaust. What I don't like is the fact that I might flirt around with these ideas, but, you know, they make sure those ideas come true. You know, that's why they cut off my water for 9 weeks. And that's why they didn't give me the protein shakes I was meant to have when I left the hospital and left me to starve, because this kind of thing happens quite frequently, right? You know, I'll get an Ocado delivery in, but, you know, I'll eat the stuff and then there isn't anything left. And it's very difficult to make an order if you've got hand tremor, because your hand kind of slips all over it. You know, it's just difficult to do. And you often forget because you've got loads of other things to do. You know, like phoning up the fraud department and asking them why you actually managed to wangle getting, you know, 25 grand out of your bank so that you could finally pay for the clearance agents and the cleaners and the fucking carer who doesn't care and is going to just fucking irritate you and just do everything wrong, and who you're going to be polite to because she's a menial and you don't know how to deal with staff. The only people you know how to talk to are your equals, and then you can say whatever the fuck you like. And you can actually say, move that, put that there, bandage my arm up. Well, the rest of them you've got to be polite to, and then meanwhile the place descends into chaos. And this isn't chaos. This is paradise. And if your flat doesn't start looking like this fast, then you are fucking doomed. Okay? Now, what do you think about lettuce? The lettuce, this was my delight because my snail finally returned to life and started eating. You know, he was stuck in the other room, just like very unhappy, just clinging to a little glass jar. And finally I had the wit to realise he wanted to be in the bedroom. So I took him in here and opened up a, you know, packet of lettuce I'd got, and he ate it. You know, he disappeared nearly immediately. But when I came back to the room, he'd eaten all the tops of the bits of the lettuce, you can see, yeah? So I kind of thought, well, that's good. You know, he's eating, he's happy to be home, you know, he wants to be here. And then finally I found him actually under the lettuce. And I thought, right, okay, this won't do. I mean, I've got snails, substrate and all this kind of stuff. But, you know, I think the snail needs to be actually just carried around with me all the time and, you know, looked after. I'm not going to go into the intimate details, but, you know, I've wept over that snail. I'm so in love with that snail. And, you know, that was when we finally got a response. You know, he stopped being all closed up and he started coming out with his little horns and crawling on me and being in love and happy again. So he needed fucking attention. That was what he was missing. And I'm never gonna just kind of like let him sit in a plant pot. I'm very concerned about putting him in. I mean, I've got a really nice, actually a lantern that was going to be his home. And, you know, you put substrate in and like loads of dead leaves and little bowls of water and all this kind of stuff. And I mean, obviously I can use the lantern anyway. I can just bang it up there on the wall, bang it in with a nail. Because, you know, handymen aren't going to do it, are they? Nobody ever fucking does do anything. They get paid thousands just to do fuck all. And the only person who does anything around here is me. And yeah, I could do with a bit of assistance. But, you know, it doesn't look like I'm going to get it. And I don't get it even when I pay for it. Right? I don't get it. I just get something that doesn't work and is going to fuck up again. I can't tell you how much I hate all of you. You know, you're all just victims of corporate systems. You might be all right on your own. If you weren't, you generally are. But, you know, at the moment, you've sold out. You've sold your soul to the fucking devil. And I'm going to see to it that you pay, because that isn't the way to do things. The way I do things is the way to do things. And you're going to learn that, and it's going to hurt. And your pain will be deserved, whereas mine isn't. But I think that I'm having to suffer this kind of business with the handcuffs. You know, the whole Alcatraz thing, and the, you know, being only 5 stone because, you know, the fucking doctors won't prescribe what they're meant to do. Let's use this lighter. Swap on. Hands, baby. Oh yeah, I think I can't do this. I think I need 2 hands. Let's see. Yeah, I can't do it. Okay, so someone's so weak, like even with the Alcatraz handcuffs and a bit of vino and their prescription dosage, can't do it, can't. Gotta use both hands. Like, what a pity. You have to go into the blackness. Look at it. You should recognise that colour. That's your heart. That's where you live. You're all just empty pieces of shit. You should never have been born. You can't create. You deserve nothing. And you can't even do your own jobs properly. I mean, all you can do is design packets that are impossible for people with essential tremor to open. All you can do, like your fucking doctors, is not prescribe protein shakes for somebody who's so seriously underweight. They're malnutrition. They make Auschwitz look like a children's bedtime story. You know? I'm thinner than that, right? And it, like, who the fuck do you think you all are? Why are you all so fucking competent? Like, it's not only that you can't create, it's not just that you can't paint or draw or do anything worthwhile. It's not only that you can't write novels or write anything. It's not only that you're just so haplessly and witlessly talentless that you don't deserve fuck in the first place. It's just that when it comes to doing your actual boring job, you can't do that either. So, you know, of course you can be replaced by zombies, and you will be. And frankly, the fact that I've had to come and live amongst you is an obscenity. And I've only done it for reasons that are going to be just too difficult for you to understand. So I'm not going to tell you what they are, because they require articles of faith and visionary apparatus that you are not equipped with. So fuck off. Okay, bye.